I believe that if you want to change your life, the first and most important thing you need to do is take responsibility for your emotional state. Your emotional state will be the determinant of whether you get what you want or you don't. And your emotional state can either be a resourceful state or an unresourceful state. So if you are in an unresourceful state, it's going to be very difficult for you to learn anything, to take action, or have any clarity. And without clarity about our goals, without the ability to make a plan, and without the resolve and the resilience to take action and overcome challenges and obstacles, you're not going to get the results that you want. So in order to change our emotional state from an unresourceful one to a resourceful one, we need three main things. The first one is physiology. We need to be able to change our physiology at will. So for example, if we're in a state of fight or flight, we need to know how to change our physiology so we're calm. Or if we're in a state of despondency, we need to be able to change our physiology so that we once again can feel joy, can feel alive or excitement. Yeah? And there are ways to do this which are very simple, such as movement. Simply going for a walk, going for a run, dancing, or some embodiment practices can really help. And other ways could be meditative or hypnotic practices for when we are feeling in fight or flight mode. So by changing our body, we change how we feel. And I give you an example. There is an improv exercise in which you are told to imagine how your body would move if you just won the lottery and you were super excited and happy. So try it for yourself. Imagine that you just won the lottery and that you're so excited, you're going to get that holiday, you're going to do that thing you've always wanted to do. And just move your body that way. How would your body move? My body would move like this. I'd be like, yes, I'm so excited. Maybe I'd even jump around and smile, right? And immediately, I feel different. My energy has changed. I feel more alive, more joyful. So by changing our physiology, we can change the way we feel. The second key to shifting from a unresourceful state to a resourceful state is focus. So what are you focusing on? What are you focusing the spotlight of attention on? If the mind was a theater that was enveloped in darkness with just one spotlight, what would that spotlight be pointing to? Because that's your reality. Even though the reality is bigger, you can't see it. You're just focusing on that one thing. And if you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get exactly that. Because your subconscious mind is a goal-striving mechanism, and it wants you to get to the result that you're setting. So what kind of result are you setting? What kind of destination are you setting up for yourself? Is it a negative one? Because if it is, you're going to get there. Because when you say to yourself something like, I don't want to go to Rome, well, you are thinking of Rome, aren't you? So your brain doesn't really compute the not, because it's not a thing, right? So it's really important to focus on results, the outcome, the destination that you want in positive ways. Ask yourself, why do you want it? Make that positive. And the other thing about focus is about inner dialogue. You know, what are you telling yourself? What's the story you're repeating in your mind over and over again? Is it a disempowering story or is it an empowering story? What's that belief that you constantly repeat to yourself? And, you know, beliefs are just thoughts that you are certain are true, right? And often we acquire them through experiences, bad or good, negative or positive, painful or pleasurable, and then repetition, repetition, repetition. So we've basically conditioned ourselves into believing certain things are true, even if they might not be true, right? So it is a choice what you believe in. But that choice is going to shape your life completely. So it's important to change that story from a disempowering one, like, oh, I don't have time, oh, what's the point? It won't work anyway. I tried everything already. To, I can do this. And there is no failure unless I stop trying. And actually, maybe failure is a good thing. I should fail many times because then I will learn and I will grow. The third key to changing your emotional state from an unresourceful one to a resourceful one is to really be careful about the language you choose and the meaning you give to events. So when you use language that is disempowering, you are creating a version of the world in which you are disempowered. Your language creates the world. So for example, if you say, I can't, I always screw up, well, you really are doing the equivalent of putting yourself into a cage in the corner and throwing away the key. Well, if you can't, then what's the point, right? You're not empowered. Also, it's about the meaning you give to events, because the same event could happen to two people and different framing would change how you feel about that event. So for example, maybe you break your leg, and maybe your friend breaks his leg as well. But if you frame it as a disaster, as the worst thing that could possibly happen, well, how do you think you're going to feel? Pretty damn terrible, right? But if on the other hand your friend goes, well, I broke my leg, okay, it's a bit inconvenient, but actually, what if this is like an opportunity to just sit on my sofa for a month and watch Netflix series? That's awesome. You see, that person's gonna feel better about what has happened. Both people can't change what happened, but by changing the meaning you give to that event, you change the way you feel about that event. So these are the three keys that you need in order to really get the results. And then, of course, you need an action plan. And then, of course, you need to take action on the action plan in a way that feels good, in a way that makes you feel excited, in a way that allows you to overcome challenges and obstacles that will inevitably come your way. So if you have these three things in place, physiology, focus, and meaning and language, it is much easier to then have clarity, formulate a plan, take action. But the most important thing in all of this process that you need, without which this doesn't work, is taking responsibility. Taking responsibility is not the same as blaming ourselves, saying it's all my fault. No, that's not what taking responsibility is. What it really means is the ability to respond. The choice, the conscious choice to respond in a specific way that might not be the easy way, right? Maybe there's door A, that's your normal, familiar way in which you usually respond. And door B is the intentional door. It's the way that you choose to respond that actually gets you where you want to be. So, like I resisted this for so long. And it's only when I started taking responsibility that things started to shift. So when I was in my 20s, I had depression. And I was very isolated because I didn't want to burden my friends, and I thought no one wants to be near a depressed person, so what's the point, And of course that made it worse, because isolation, of course, is going to make the depression worse. And, I was really wanting to have someone to save me, some kind of therapist, someone to come in my life and bang, give me the magic fix, the magic wand. But the thing is, there isn't anyone that can do that for you, okay? No one can save you. only you can save yourself. And it sucks because in that moment, when we are not at our best, we don't feel like it. We just want to sit on the sofa and do nothing and feel sorry for ourselves. Let's face it. But if we do that, what's the result we're going to get? The same old result we don't want. So the only way to move forward and get what you want out of life change is to take responsibility, to just say, you know what, no one's going to save me. I need to save myself. And I'm going to do everything it takes to change this because you know what? I don't want this anymore. I don't want this anymore. Never again. I'm ready to go and move forward. So if you are in that state right now, you are ready to change. You are ready to take a step towards something different, something better, and you're ready to take responsibility, then please do get in touch. Book a discovery call and we can see how I can help you in your process of making that change happen and stick and be permanent. So thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to talking to you.